Srimati Madan Mohini Didi from Australia met devotees in 1979, and she met Srila Gurudeva actually in 1996. She received Harinam and Diksha in 1997. And in terms of her seva, she has done editing with Shamarani Didi, done drama plays, and seems like she's been engaged in seva for a long time. And we're looking forward to hearing your Pushpanjali, Didi.
Audible, thank you. I'll just start with a couple of beautiful prayers for Srila Gurudeva. So, Namo Om Vishnupadaya Radhikaya Priyatmane Shishima Bhaktivedanta Narayana Nityanamane Om Jnana Timirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurun Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. So, it's just where to begin. So we first met, my family and I first met Srila Gurudeva in New Braj, California in 1996. Is that microphone volume okay?
Yes, it is. You sound great.
Okay, thank you.
Sorry, I don't know what happened to my video actually, but
that's okay.
I'm here. All right.
So Srila Gurudeva, by his own causeless mercy, came to the town where I live with my family, a tiny village in the mountains of only a population of 300 people. And I was a teenager at the time. We had a beautiful small community, and we had, a small community temple with Gornichai. And I didn't know, because being a teenager, but I was, later informed by my parents, the other senior devotees, that they had been calling out for support and for help after Srila Prabhupada's disappearance. They had gone to the mountains, made a small community, and that they were longing for a spiritual master to come. But, I was a carefree teenager, so when Srila Gurudeva came, it was a really amazing festival. I was delighted to meet everyone, and Srila Gurudeva lived next door to my family, so he would come on his morning walk and walk over to our house. We would just be able to, myself and the kids, we could run out and see him, and he very quickly became like a beloved grandfather figure. And would just speak to the kids and I, ask us about the cows and the horses, and ask us the names of the animals, and he would pat the cows and tell us little stories about Krishna and the cows. It was really, really sweet. And the whole community, we were enchanted by Srila Gurudeva's just amazing, he's like, how do you explain it? The magnetic attraction. It's like you're attracted without even trying to be, naturally, spontaneously attracted to his loving energy. So a huge amount of the community went to India in 1997, Kartik, and myself included with my family. And we got to go to India for the first time, and we went to Mathura, arrived there, straight from the 2 days of traveling, and went straight to Gurudev's room. And he was so happy to see us. And you could just feel that loving energy, again, that grandfatherly energy towards the kids and I. And I was just amazed at, because in Badger we had more of a familial relationship, but in India I got to see His Majesty, how so many sannyasis were coming and speaking to him and giving him so much respect and honor. And we got to see, wow, Srila Gurudeva is incredible. We got to see another aspect of his glory. So we participated in Prakama, and in those days Srila Gurudeva walked with us throughout the streets of Mathura, and then we went to Vrindavan. And Gurudev led the Parikrama. It was incredible. And my younger brother and the boys from New Braj, they'd try and, get up there and try and walk as fast as Gurudev and try and keep up with him. But Gurudev was so incredible, so energetic. He could lead the Parikrama for hours. And then we would go to the different pastime places, and Srila Gurudeva would explain Sri Krishna's pastimes, and each place was so much love. And you could just tell that he understood it clearly. I'd never met any other personality in my 17 years at that time, 18 years. I hadn't met anyone else who was as shastric and could just quote anything at any place, every pastime. He didn't read from a book, he was just spontaneous flow of nectar, and it was incredible. So we had a wonderful experience in India, and Srila Gurudeva invited us to come again, and we invited him to come again to New Braj, which he mercifully did again the following year. And the community excitement was building. We built a pavilion and hosted a larger group of devotees. And my family and I once seva that we had was to perform dramas, something we had already been doing, and that we offered our services to Srila Gurudeva, and he encouraged myself and the other children to learn about the pastimes. So we would listen to Gurudev's classes and create scripts from them, and then we'd get to go to Gurudev and ask him, we're going to do this play, and if we had any question about something, he would help to give direction about how to perform the pastime. Sometimes he would help to arrange who should be who in the play. It was just really beautiful. So we started doing the plays, and another wonderful time in 1998, Srila Gurudeva came, and we also went to Los Angeles and San Francisco, attended his programs there. I have one really sweet personal memory from in San Francisco. In the early mornings, Srila Gurudeva would go for his walks, and the girls and I were waiting for Srila Gurudeva to come back at the Holy Redeemer that was rented in San Francisco, this beautiful old church. There were all these wildflowers, and so we were picking wildflowers, and one of my sisters crafted a garland, which was made just out of braided wildflowers. We used the stems to connect them, and so on the back side, you could see the braid, and on the front, was all the wildflowers are popping out. And when she gave it to Srila Gurudeva when he came, he was just amazed, and he said, "Oh, this is like how the gopis can string the garlands in Vrindavan. They don't need needle and thread. They have so many talents, and how they use the flowers and the plants to serve Krishna." So it was just really sweet. Every interaction, he would bring us to remember Radha and Krishna. And he would just kindly accept the flowers that the girls and I would give to him in the mornings. And he'd ask us, "Are you chanting? Are you following Ekadasi?" He always had a moment for everyone to ask how they are. And everyone felt so included. And they got the speciality. I remember disciples of Srila Prabhupada saying that Srila Prabhupada made everyone feel that he loved them the best. And that was an amazing speciality of his personality. Every person felt that love and that connection. And I witnessed it over and over again with Srila Gurudeva, especially after class. Srila Gurudeva would just majestically make his way from the asasan to the door, and a line of people just naturally form, and Srila Gurudeva would go along and greet everyone. And you could see the excitement and the hope on people's faces as Gurudev was coming towards them. Like, will Gurudev speak to me today? Will I have an opportunity to have his loving glance? And you could just see like the emotion in devotees' faces as Srila Gurudeva was coming, and then the happiness, and like when he would speak to them, and then the loving glances as he would leave. It was just incredible to see those personal interactions with Srila Gurudeva. So we went to India again in 1998, and it was just amazing. Again, Srila Gurudeva led the parikrama, and I really remember especially going to Govardhan, and Gurudev going on the hill with us and pointing out Lord Krishna's footprints in the rocks and the stones, and Srila Gurudeva explaining how the stones melted hearing Shri Krishna's flute, and that the cowherd boys and Krishna would be slipping on the rocks like slides. And we went to that one place where there is the rock slide. I forget the name. I remember seeing Gurudev encouraging Madan Maharaj and the other Naveen Krishna Prabhu at the time to go down this slide, and they were so joyful. It was incredible. All the brahmacharis and sannyasis had a turn, sliding down and thinking of Sri Krishna's pastimes. It was very different to what I had seen prior, in some of the temples I had been in California, where everything was very serious, and it was so a beautiful, playful part of Srila Gurudeva as well, to interact with the pastime places. I remember the following year when Srila Gurudeva came to Badger.
Hey, Didi, you're muted. I think you accidentally hit mute.
Oh, there we go.
Oh,
sorry.
sorry.
When Srila Gurudeva came to New Braj the following year, my sisters and I and the other devotees, we had the opportunity to start to cook for Gurudev. And it was a really nice new way to interact by preparing something special and taking it to Naveen Prabhu to give to Gurudev. One time, my husband made these pineapple fritters. So it's like a ring of pineapple, you dip in the batter, fry it. And we had offered those to Srila Gurudeva for his lunch. And then he had sent a couple back with the bite marks taken out of them. It was just so neat. Gurudev was interacting with us again in that way. And one time my father drove Gurudev to the airport from New Braj to San Francisco. And we had a large van, and a couple of us kids got to ride along in the back. And so I got to be with Gurudev in the van, and he was chanting. It was just amazing to listen to Srila Gurudev chanting as we were driving for hours to the airport. And Naveen Prabhu was sitting next to Gurudev. And at one point he was dozing just a little. And Gurudev just turned and he whispered, it's like, "Oh, Naveen," in the sweetest voice. And Naveen woke up, kept chanting. It was just really sweet to sing their exchanges. So another time, we went to Vancouver with Srila Gurudev to Salt Spring Island, and he gave really beautiful Harikatha. I wish I could remember all of it now, but mainly it was about Kleshagni, and I forget the other name, but about how you're developing the creeper of love.
Shubhada.
Yes.
Shubhada. Yes.
Yes. About how to develop love for Krishna, and how the creeper of devotion grows. It was beautiful. I need to go online and find those classes and listen to them again. I would really like to do that. Another beautiful place was in Italy one year. I'm sure Yashananda Prabhu would remember the time we were in Stresa near Milan, and we rented that. They were in that chateau with Gurudev and all the disciples. All the devotees were there, and I was assisting Shamrani Didi at that time with the editing work. So we got to go to Gurudev during the day and ask questions. Like if there was the audio was unclear, we couldn't understand what was said there, we could go to Srila Gurudev and say, "Gurudev, in the class last night you said this," and he would tell us, clarify the words. So that was a really beautiful way that Shamrani Didi engaged myself and the other devotees in the editing team to get to speak to Srila Gurudev, especially as the groups was getting so much larger. It was harder to see Gurudev, as often. So my pranams to Shamrani Didi. She's such an amazing inspiration. She's just really an amazing inspiration and loving devotee. So what was I thinking about when we were in Italy? Something interesting. Srila Gurudev was speaking about Achinta Veda Veda Tattva. So it was really amazing. For 7 days, he kept going over these beautiful teachings, Sri Sanatana Siksha, and he would have devotees stand up in class and repeat what he had said, or add on, explain in their own words what he had been saying. So we did a really spontaneous drama there, based on the Sri Sanatana Siksha for Srila Gurudev. So we had an amazing ensemble cast from devotees from all around the world, and we had music, and Gurudev was really, really happy. He had, we were able to go to Srila Gurudev with we had listened to the classes, taken the notes, formulated the play over the first couple of days. And we went to Gurudev and asked him, would you like this? And he was, yes, he said, yes, you must do it. And he would tap me on the head, the really hard, solid tap. He said, yes, you must do this. So with a team of devotees, my husband was the spearhead of this one, and he helped to recruit the different devotees, and we had so much fun. And it was a really nice way that we could interact with Gurudev, as well as do what we felt was a humble seva, as far as sharing his words again with the audience. So I'd like to find those classes as well. They really stand out in my mind. So my husband and I were fortunate to meet in India, and Srila Gurudev married us in Mathura and Vrindavan. And we traveled with Srila Gurudev after we got married, followed him on his tours, and it was just amazing, again, watching Srila Gurudev's interactions with everyone around the world, and watching, sorry, how he inspired everyone. And when Srila Gurudev came to New Braj, it was better than Christmas. For kids in America, Christmas is the biggest thing. But when Srila Gurudev came, it became bigger and better than Christmas. We would all anticipate his arrival. We would decorate the land and the house and clean, and every minute just thinking, oh, Gurudev's coming. What can we do? How can we serve the devotees when they come? Clearing out campsites for people to put their tents, and we had cows that we were milking. So for months before the festival, we would be milking the cows and making curd, and we had one freezer full from top to bottom of paneer from the cows on the land. And yeah, it was just such a joy to be able to share that with the devotees when they came. So I would help in the kitchens and help with the dramas and assist. My father used to take Srila Gurudeva for carriage rides, so hooking up the horses to the carriage. And Srila Gurudeva is very brave, and he would go for a ride with the horses going, and all the devotees would be chanting. And Srila Gurudeva would make, it's not just a mundane carriage ride, but he said, imagine Krishna and Arjuna are going to fight, You'd always bring us back to thinking about Krishna in our different activities. Another time, I wasn't there, but my father told me this really interesting story, that when he was in Hawaii with Srila Gurudeva, they went for a boat ride to see whales. So I guess somebody had questioned, like, why bother with this mundane activity of going to see whales? But on the boat, Srila Gurudeva told the beautiful story of Matsya and the appearance of Matsyadeva. And he was saying to the devotees, imagine how wonderful and glorious the Lord was in the incarnation of Matsyadeva. So that was really beautiful. Srila Gurudeva, again, bringing a spiritual aspect to an everyday activity. What else can I add? Had some beautiful visits in England, and Srila Gurudeva charmed everyone. It was incredibly, his glance, his loving glance, his beautiful blue eyes just captured the hearts of everyone. And I remember in England, again, I was with Shamarani Didi, and Ashram Maharaj was there, and we continued to do the editing work, sending out the classes. And it was so exciting at the time. We tried to have every class done the next day so that devotees around the world could keep up to date with Srila Gurudeva's classes. And so every night we would try to finish after class. We'd be listening, and in the early morning we'd be listening to Gurudeva's class, typing it out and giving it to Shamarani Didi to finish. And then she would send it on the Harikatha mailing list. So it was really exciting for me to be part of that team. And we continued to India in the early 2000s. We continued on the parikramas. And, some of the times Gurudev wasn't always going out with us, but it would be so wonderful. In the morning, he would come into the temple. We would sing the Damodarastakam, and then he would send us off to parikrama, and he would, be there when we got back, just ready and excited to tell more Harikatha. I remember one time we were walking along, and like some of us, we got thorns in our feet. Srila just laughing, saying, "Oh, don't worry, take them out." He's telling how the gopis would be in their homes while Krishna was cow herding, and they'd be very anxious about Krishna's soft lotus feet being pricked with the thorns. And they would pray that Krishna wouldn't be injured by the thorns on his feet. So, in India, we really, it was just magical being with Srila Gurudeva in India. It was, and I especially think, going into the temples, going into Radha Damodar with Srila Gurudeva, going to Srila Prabhupada's rooms, that was very emotional. It was really, a really great experience to be able to go there, and hearing Srila Gurudeva's descriptions of his pastimes with Srila Prabhupada was just so wonderful. And it really helped to show this sweet, loving relationship between Srila Gurudeva and Srila Prabhupada. It helped me to be strong in my life when I would come across opposition, and people would say things like, against Srila Gurudeva or about their relationship. I had my own personal experience. I had been in the Radha Damodar temple with Srila Gurudeva, hearing his pastimes and about how their loving relationship. So it helped me that if I came across devotees who would question their relationship or say things negative about Gurudeva and Prabhupada, I could very easily and simply and humbly state the facts that I knew, that they had known each other for so many years, and they had been in Radha Damodar temple together. As Gurudev said, they would sit together and, he would roll the chapatis, and Srila Prabhupada would be cooking the chapatis, and they would just sit on Gurudev's chatter. Gurudev said Srila Prabhupada had so few things when he was in the temple there that Gurudev would put his own chatter on the floor for them to sit down on as they're making chapatis together. So it just, Gurudev was so glorious and magnificent, but so simple at the same time, that he didn't need, you know, fancy accommodation and fancy, I mean, of course, Gurudev, everywhere Gurudev went, the devotees would honor him so nicely and give him so many things, but he expressed that he didn't need that. That wasn't the goal. He said, I've come here for your hearts. I've just come here for your hearts. I'm going to keep your hearts in my pocket. When we would give him flowers in the mornings and the evenings, Gurudev would say, I'm not collecting the flowers, I'm collecting your hearts, and I'm keeping them in my pocket. Ever since I was really young, I just was so attracted to hearing stories of how people had met Srila Prabhupada, their first impressions and their first experiences. And I was really lucky in New Branch, California, that there are many elderly Prabhupada disciples, and at Srila Prabhupada's appearance day and disappearance day each year, they would share different stories. And one devotee I remember, Madhusudan, he was only 17 in New York when he met Srila Gurudev, and he had pimples. And Srila Prabhupada had made a paste for him to put it on, because Srila Prabhupada had, you know, that experience. And so he had made him this kind of white paste. I mean, first he told Madhusudan to put tilak on it. He said that will dry it out and it'll be really good. But then the next day, Madhusudan wasn't wearing the tilak all over his face. And, you know, Srila Prabhupada said, why aren't you wearing the tilak? And he's like, oh, I'm embarrassed. So Srila Prabhupada made him a special cream that he could rub on that would absorb in the skin. And it was amazing to hear how Srila Prabhupada was like a loving father to these teenagers who were disillusioned with, you know, the world back in the 60s in New York. So I craved it. I just loved it. I loved, for some reason, hearing about people's first experiences with Srila Prabhupada. And we would sometimes go to really big festivals in LA where there'd be hundreds of Prabhupada disciples, and all day long they'd be speaking about their experiences. And it just helped make it real. I guess I was craving and waiting for the time that I would get to meet someone like that. I mean, I already felt, as growing up as a devotee, you know, in a devotee family, I felt connected to Krishna and the movement, and I felt like Srila Prabhupada was real, like he was, and he is, but I really felt like you could connect with him through listening to him and reading from him. And I didn't know what I was missing until I knew it. You know, once you met Srila Gurudeva, you're like, wow, I didn't know that I was missing this, but now that I know, I'm just so happy and grateful once you have that personal connection with Srila Gurudeva.
I really enjoyed hearing your Pushpanjali. It was quite beautiful and delightful, and blessed to have your association as well. So thank you.
Thank you.